Does your client's low back always feel tight after they work out, or maybe just tight all the time? Well, let's take a look at why that might be happening and what we can do to help. When it comes to a particular muscle group being tight or feeling like it's overworking, one of the things we can think about that is balance around the area. So as those low back muscles, paraspinals, QLs, come and attach down into our pelvis and our spine, they are pulling our pelvis forward. So they are pulling our pelvis forward. Now, when we think about what could prevent that pulling forward, what do we need more of? What can we help to offset the stability coming from the top? Well, there are several things. One is a little more stability from the sides and the front. So it comes down to abdominal strength. So when we really strengthen those lateral abs, then we can help provide that lateral stability for the pelvis, and we won't be feeling as much of that stability needing to come from that low back. The other thing we can think about is our posterior chain with our hamstrings and our glutes. So our hamstrings come in here and they help to anchor our pelvis and pull it down. So remember, those low back muscles help to pull it up, but we have these great hamstrings helping to pull it down. So they add a counterforce. Now, we don't want to get in this tug of war with overactive tight hamstrings, overactive low back, but what we do want to do is we want to find those proximal hamstrings really well to help give us that stability and that balance of the pelvis, and then we want to come in and strengthen those glutes to help it all hold in place. So think about it as layers. So first you've got to pull down a little bit if your back is pulling up a lot, and then you've got to smack on lots of great glutes to help hold it all in place. So super simple, right? Then I really like to take a look at breathing, because breathing, how we breathe, and then how we ramp up breathing during exercise can really affect what is feeling tight or loose in our body. So when we think about breathing, we want to get great expansion of our diaphragm down. So when we breathe up into our neck and shoulders, that doesn't give us that opportunity for our great inhales to create a little bit of low back expansion. And then we end up over bracing and over tightening with those low back muscles. So go ahead and take your hand now, place it on your back for me, and give me a nice inhale. Can you feel that expansion out and down so that you can really get some length and some letting go of those low back muscles? So I often find that people will inhale with those back muscles. So if you take a thumb and you place it on your back and you give me an inhale, the muscles should feel a little bit squishier. They should feel like they move further apart. Maybe they get a little bit of a stretch, but you shouldn't feel them roping up or contracting more. It should feel like they're lengthening, kind of letting go, maybe flattening out a little bit. And you might get a little bit of firmness in there from that inhale filling in, but it shouldn't feel more ropey, like it's contracting. So when we think about that, if our low back muscles are contracting to help pull our inhale down, then what's our diaphragm doing? All right, the diaphragm needs to do some work. Those intercostals need to do some work. Those external intercostals help to pull that rib cage apart, to help our ribs expand so that we can get that great inhale in. So we need great intercostals. We need a great diaphragm really working to help with those inhales. The other thing we want to think about here is not only do we not want those low back muscles helping with that inhale, but we want to make sure that our exhale is passive. So as you inhale down, that diaphragm contracts down, pulling air into the lungs. All right, this creates that pressure, which then allows us to get a completely passive exhale. So what I want you to do is practice inhaling down, getting great rib expansion, and then just letting nothing happen for the exhale. Letting that exhale just happen. And this is one thing I like to get people to practice when they're sitting on the couch, when they're relaxing, is they can just get that nice passive exhale, because a lot of times we either exhale from our rectus, and we end up with these trigger points and tension in our rectus and upper ab gripping, or we exhale from those paraspinals, or both, or we get in this tug of war with our paraspinals and our rectus where they're kind of pulling at each other. And so what we want to do is work on those passive passive exhales from a great inhale being just part of our way of breathing in daily life. We don't want to have to work hard for those exhales. And then we can take that into our exercise and really focus on getting those great inhales down, that breathing under a brace where we get a little bit of expansion in our low back from that great inhale, which then allows those paraspinals to let go a little bit and lets them lengthen.